Draft week. Here we go. It's PHNX Cardinals After Dark on a football Sunday. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's my co-host, Bo Brack. Damon Dog, Mr. Hold the Line himself, producing this fine program here. Become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. This is your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast, 5 days away from the 2024 NFL Draft. Buckle up. We are going live for 7 straight days on this fine program. Bo Brack, are you ready?
I am ready. I can't wait to figure out what the heck's going to happen with this Arizona Cardinals team, who they're going to draft. Are they going to stick and pick? Are they going to trade down? Are they going to just gut us with that move on draft night? But I cannot wait to see it happen, unfold with 120 plus people at the Gila River Resort and Casino out in Wild Horse Pass. It's going to be unbelievable. Let's say hello to the entire chat today. 200 strong already out there. Harmony. See Mr. J, Diehard Mesa, Space Ghost, Ryan. I see somebody who's jumping in there. Who did I see saying that their daughter, Canaanite's 10-year-old daughter is going to join him. Sophia is watching live tonight. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
We'll try to make it worth Sophia's while. I don't know if we actually have a strong audience, like if we the 10-year-old daughters will like our show, but we appreciate Sophia giving what dad likes so much a tryout.
We're excited. We love these Sunday pods. We'll do them as long as you guys want to do them this off season, and this could be the best one yet. Hit that like button on a football Sunday. You guys corrected me. It's technically 5 days, but it's really closer to 4 days. It's 4 sleeps between now and next Thursday, where we will be live at Gila River Resort.
Are you sleeping Wednesday night? Are you sleeping?
I don't think so. Like it's legitimately Christmas Eve for your boy every year before the draft.
It's way better than Christmas Eve.
It is, but it's Christmas Eve for an adult, like a man child like myself. So I'm fired up, as are 265 plus in the chat. Drop a like on this video, and again, I feel like this weekend, if you are part of the Hold the Line crew, like many are, like our precious Damon Dog leads the charge behind the mic, this is a good weekend for you. Very minimal news as it relates to trade speculation. Doesn't mean it's dead, but, waiting all weekend for a Tom Pelissaro article, Ian Rapp sheet, Adam Schefter bomb or article, and it could still come this week, about the Arizona Cardinals are poised to trade the 4th overall pick. And while we got a report Friday that NFL GMs expect the 4th overall pick to be traded, what about the folks in Vegas, Bo Brack? As of right now, it is the overwhelming favorite that Marvin Harrison Jr. is the 4th overall pick. I pulled these from a couple respected sportsbooks, including our own sweet baby BetMGM. These are current odds if you haven't seen them right now here on a Sunday night, April 21st. Happy birthday, my sister. BetMGM minus 200 right now for Marvin Harrison Jr. So a quick tutorial. If you don't know what that means, it means you'd have to place $200 to win $100. On DraftKings, you'd have to place $225 to win $100. On FanDuel, $240 to win $100, and then Bet365 $220. So not apples to oranges, but everything right now over 200 or better for Marvin Harrison Jr. to be selected 4th overall. Bo Brack, that's a stark contrast to 175, 125 that we've seen each of the last couple weeks. However, here I want to just caution everybody, as I put this out on Twitter. J.J. McCarthy is still expected to be a Minnesota Viking. So you have to be able to contextualize those odds with how do the Vikings get J.J. McCarthy if it's not from the Arizona Cardinals? Discuss.
It's simple, right? It's the next pick. It's the Los Angeles Chargers, whose odds have also changed pretty drastically. I even saw a quarterback enter the equation. I think that the odds shifted significantly for them to take a quarterback, which is nuts. that would mean that they would have to like move off of Justin Herbert. But it was like it's plus 800 for a quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers. They're overwhelming favorites to take an offensive lineman. They're in it's as far as negative odds to they're an overwhelming favorite to take an offensive lineman. They've been tied to Joe Alt, in a trade down, Fuaga. So the Arizona Cardinals, when Damon Dowd can have a smile on his face, like the line is pretty much held that Marv's been the favorite throughout this offseason to be an Arizona Cardinal. They just need to get it to the ESPN jingle Thursday night, and the pick is in to select the Ohio State wide receiver in order for that to happen with no trades, because that's the biggest thing. And there are a lot of variables that come into play. Like, could a team ahead of them, like the Patriots, could they be overwhelmed? Because we're starting to see some trade offers and stuff like that maybe they're back in the mix and they're staring down a rebuild. Maybe they've taken inventory of this roster even more so and realize they're going to put a rookie quarterback in a big hole this season, and they would much rather kind of rebuild this roster even more so and do what Monti did last year by loading up on draft capital. So we'll see. And then the Chargers, they seem to be outside of the Cardinals, the next best spot for a quarterback hungry team to come up.
I posed this question on Twitter. I'm anxious to get both of your opinions on this. I do think it comes down to with Minnesota, because there's a video of Kevin O'Connell. I don't know if you guys saw. I retweeted it.
Is that at basically the church?
Yeah, at church, and somebody was doing the Lord's work, no pun intended, went up to him and basically was like, "What do we need to do to get Drake May or JJ McCarthy? Do you like these guys? What's going on?" Kevin O'Connell is speaking in future tense, like they're going to get a quarterback this Thursday. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There was no, Sam Darnold could be a surprise, blah, blah, blah. No, like they were very much speaking like, we have a target in mind. We know what we have to do. So like knowing that and seeing that and how forefront the Vikings have been, obviously trading back up into the first round. Is there a package? Because if it's the Vikings' preference, they of course would probably rather trade with the Cardinals because that assures them that they're not jumped by the Giants, right? Like you're sweating it out. We've outlined this for damn near 2 months now. You try to negotiate with the Chargers, the Cardinals can negotiate behind your back with a number of teams, including the team that picked 6th in the New York Giants. So, Bo, I'll pose this to you. Is there a package that you believe, not, knowing specifically what it would be, that the Los Angeles Chargers and Jim Harbaugh would take over what the Arizona Cardinals would take at pick 4?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know if it's going to be a significant discount. Like it still seems like it's going to take the Vikings to get up where they need to be at 5, that they're not going to move off of 3 first, right? But maybe if the Cardinals stick and pick, I don't know. Does that strengthen their deal? I mean, it's still the Giants. It's still the Giants that they need to get ahead of.
Yeah.
And the Chargers are very aware of that. And I just don't think that they're in the business of giving discounts when they don't have to. So, they want to continue to set up their quarterback for success. And the best way to do that, is take, 11-23 and, start with it being the 3rd first. And then if it kind of stalls, maybe you slide on that and you get a future 2nd or a future 3rd. But I still think that they're in just as strong a position as the Arizona Cardinals are to ask for 3 first as the baseline.
Yeah, I know that there's this stigma out there now that the Chargers do not want to take a receiver. Like they want to take a tackle. They want to go line of scrimmage. They probably like Brock Bowers just as much as these receivers, although in my opinion, it would be ludicrous to take Bowers over any of them.
Like tight end, the position that that Vegas is saying that they would take, tight end is like plus 1,200.
I know.
Vegas isn't buying Brock Bowers.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's J.C. Latham, it's Fuaga, maybe it's Joe Alt at some point. Like it's a line of scrimmage player. And, I like Malik Nabers, so do you. I just, does that do it for them? Does Rome Odunze do it for them, assuming the Cardinals take Marvin Harrison Jr.? Everybody has told you, and the Chargers have some vibes of where the Cardinals were last year. Everybody leading up to the draft knew the Cardinals wanted to trade down. Like everybody leading up to this draft, like the Cardinals could have used Will Anderson Jr., just like, the Chargers can use Malik Nabers, but their preference is to deal down for picks. So, like, of course, Minnesota would prefer to deal with them. Is Ossenfort just going to allow that to happen, though? That's my biggest question. if Ossenfort's sitting there and he wants to be able to bleed Minnesota or New York or both teams for all they're worth, I don't think he's just going to kick his feet up and say, like, Marvin's a Cardinal, pick 4. We're not going to enter these kind of negotiations. Because, like, if the Vikings are going to take J.J. McCarthy, it has to come from one of two spots. And if you have the first spot in line, it's in your best interest, if you're Ossenfort, Bo, to at least pose that question the week of, certainly the day of, to Minnesota. Like, we know you're talking to the Chargers. We know you're talking to Jim Harbaugh. Like, what are you prepared to offer us that you're also going to ask them for? Maybe we'll take it. Maybe we won't. But I'm sure those conversations are being had, if not, later this week.
Yeah. But and I'm sure with a new organization, there was some kind of blind faith there.
Yeah.
With Monti Ossenfort. It was more so with Monti because he's kind of been way more behind the scenes than like Harbaugh. We know he's had success in this league. Took his team to 3 different conference championships games when he was in San Francisco. But there has to be some sort of faith that, yeah, like what kind of the plight of our fan base and why it's so polarizing to take a Vikings deal, because it takes you out of striking distance of so many blue chip prospects, and that you're going to have to spin zone. It's not going to be tough, but like Fuaga or an Alt if he slides, or Fashanu, whatever tackle they decide to take at that point, it's just it gets off a little bit on a little rockier footing for them if they're willing to take less and then also take a less sexy position. But look, they have the benefit of, hey, you're going to prop up your investment, much like Kyler Murray last offseason. Justin Herbert got the bag and an extension that kicks in next year. Get him another tackle, another offensive lineman, and then he's going to be able to elevate his playmakers no matter who they are if they address that later in the draft with the extra capital that they get.
J.J. McCarthy's over-under for position to be drafted at firmly at 5.5. So basically saying, is he going to be a Giant or is he going to be a Viking? Like, I think that's what it comes down to. I know there's some traction right now in certain sports books that, he's moving up for the 2nd overall pick. I don't buy that. I don't think anybody buys that. And I also, we were talking off air that potentially New England dealing pick 3 is still available. I just think Drake May at the end of the day is just going to be their quarterback. I think Robert Kraft is not concerned about a prolonged rebuild that, yeah, you might get a bunch of picks, but you're going to be bad for a while. I think he naively, if your Kraft sees, Stroud did this last year, we can have our own. We can have our own Joe Burrow in Drake May. I think the first 3 picks are telegraphed, frankly. I think they're set in stone. I think they're done. And the draft really starts at 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like, there's projections now, both significant ones, that Latu has leapfrogged Dallas Turner as the first defensive player to be drafted for the Atlanta Falcons at pick 8. There's a report now the Titans want to trade out of 7. Are people cooling on Joe Alt? I think there's a lot of silly season going on from about picks 4 to 9 or 10 in this draft. And it's really going to work to the Cardinals' benefit because that's when the uncertainty begins.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting when we get to our exercise as far as our 1 through 32, how we truly view who are the top 10 prospects, who are the ones that people are going to want to stay in the top 10 and select.
Yeah.
And then who at this point now, 4.5 days away from the draft, who do we firmly believe are going to be top 10 prospects? And who's the Latu thing is a little wild to me.
Is that nuts?
You would take Latu, but you look at the production, you look at the size, and you're just going to have to believe that with his recent success and staying healthy, that's going to be who he is as a pro, which is one of the toughest things to predict when you've got Dallas Turner has been fantastic. You look at his combine, what he did, 4.4 40, and he was productive at Alabama as well. So that's pretty wild. But I mean, I think you get Law to the next level, he's going to be a very productive player. So I guess that's just how people view it.
Let's get to some of these super chats. Gann and I already mentioned it, $1.99. Thank you so much. My 10-year-old daughter, Sophia, watching and says hi. What's up, Sophia? Hopefully you don't have, school too early tomorrow here on a football Sunday with Johnny Bo and Damon Dog, PHNX Cardinals After Dark. Thank you for tuning in.
That is awesome. That is cool. We are growing our community even more so, even beyond what Johnny and I even imagined. We are reaching 10-year-old Sophia and much more, when we were just thinking we were talking to just a bunch of Cardinals fans out there, probably like in their 30s.
Booms, $9.99. Either Jobo tries to celebrate MHJ with us, or they laugh at our faces off with their heads held. Hold the line for Damon. President JK boys, love your work. Thursday marks the new age for Cardinals. Let's get it. You're definitely on the money there. It's a new age. Thursday's a historic day for a lot of different reasons. And listen, Bo and I will be dejected like everybody else if they trade down. Like, there will be a moment of silence at Gila River Resorts and Casinos when that trade is picked, or the pick is traded, if it's traded, Bo. Like, we're not going to be celebrating anything other than MHJ at pick 4.
That's right. Like, people are going to turn to us and say, they're going to anticipate us being petty and saying something snarky or told you so. We won't be doing that. We'll be just as, we'll take the gut punch just like everybody else. It's going to suck.
Somebody asked me, not to get off track here, on Twitter before the show, because I posted these odds.
Yeah.
Like, Johnny, can we just be positive? Can we get excited about Thursday? Like, you got to sense that this is what's going to happen, right? I do not have that sense. Like, I wish I could come on the show with you, Bo, for the next 4 days after tonight and say, get the jerseys ready, print the t-shirts. Like, I still see, Peter Schrager predicting they'll trade down, and there's still momentum from Friday's show and insiders within the league. Like, as much as I love like minus 200, minus 225 with our friends at BetMGM, like as our guy Benjamin Albright said on Friday's show, Will Levis was the preemptive favorite to be taken 4th overall while on the clock last year until he wasn't. And then he ended up being a 2nd round pick. Like, Vegas knows, but it's always not 100%. Like, go look at, the odds for Caleb Williams. Like, the Chicago Bear fandom, they can be excited. They know what's going down. Like, we have no idea right now. It's a coin flip at best. It's truly 50-50.
Yeah, it is, because of the players, the market, really, as far as who wants to come up and get a quarterback, and they're desperate, what they're willing to pay. And, the guy, the architect for the Arizona Cardinals, where he leans as far as what he prioritizes as far as the draft goes. And if he can set himself up for success now and in the future, where he feels like, look, there's some players, some really impressive players that are still going to be on the board, and he's going to be able to continue to infuse this roster with talent and get himself set up with an unprecedented deal. I would think that he would be. Yeah, I mean, we've been there all off season. We've been so close. We've been at the goal line. We've been in the red zone seemingly since really it started trending towards the Patriots taking a quarterback, right? Or if it's not the Patriots taking a quarterback, trading out, right? Because that drops Marvin Harrison Jr., who this show believes is the best player in this draft overall, right in the lap of the Arizona Cardinals. But the entire time we've been sitting there with bated breath. Like, hey, it looks really effing good. They still have the pick, but we know that it ain't shit. Sorry, Sophia. It's nothing until the pick is in and they've selected Marvin Harrison Jr.
There are 4 quarterbacks that are worthy, according to Vegas and scouts and GMs, of a top 5 pick. 3 of the teams that are picking in front of the Cardinals need a quarterback. Cardinals do not. They won 4 games last year. They could benefit from it. Like, we can say 2 things are true. Cardinals could benefit greatly from a trade down with the assets they acquire. They could also greatly benefit from the almost sure thing that it is MHJ. Variety 805 $4.99. Simply put, hold. He's holding the line right now. Now and forever with producer Damon Dog. The Hold the Line crew. It's the biggest week in the history of this movement. And print the t-shirts up if they get it done. Will you attribute this, if this goes through? Will Damon be able to take a small piece of credit for getting this done on Thursday night?
For actually like making it happen?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Small seems like a very kind of inconsiderate amount.
I'm diminishing your efforts by saying small.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I'd argue it's like a huge portion of the reason that the Cardinals would make this pick.
I think it is an overwhelming yes. Like, he did carry it to the finish line, no doubt about it.
Well, when we say that tongue in cheek, I know there are people on Twitter.
I mean that.
You mean it's insane? I don't know about that. I know it's shocking. There are people on Twitter who do not consume this program, which shame on them. That use hold the line. I did not see that used ever before Damon said it on this show.
I mean,
so it's like people
he's a
have picked
Renaissance
it up
man.
on Twitter. Yeah. I would imagine a lot of people who are using it don't know, Damon, where it originated from.
That's fine. The real ones know. And the real ones remember who was carrying water for Marvin Harrison Jr. when this program was giving you nothing but negative news when it comes to him becoming a Cardinal. I was always right there holding water.
Damon is the weather. He's the weatherman who just predicts sun every day. Sunny and 75 every day. He doesn't even look at what.
Why did my baseball game get rained out, Damon? Explain that to me. Eric the Red, $5. No amount of picks can replace 12 years of excellence on and off the field. Absolutely. I mean, like, how many draft picks was Buda Baker worth? How many draft picks was Patrick Peterson worth? That's the kind of comp we're going to use with MHJ. Like, Cardinals have had a lot of busts, and again, those were under different GMs and executives. But
yeah,
we could package 5 first-round picks and 5 second-round picks this franchise has made over the last half decade plus, and they wouldn't equal the greats that they have drafted, the few greats. Yeah. So I understand where Eric the Red and a lot of Cardinal Nation is cynical to the trade down.
I think that if Marv happens, Friday's presser, Matt Prater and Damon Dog both stand up there and introduce them together with their hand, like clasping hands, taking a bow.
UFC style.
Yeah, we did this for you all. This was our sacrifice, and it paid off.
They play that song, Our Sacrifice, from Creed. Maybe they get a live performance.
I'm in.
With Scott Stapp coming down from the rafters. Is that what you want?
Yes, that's exactly what I want. The Vault, $1.99, Bo. This should be Damon's show featuring Patty Cake Boys. This is the Patty Cake podcast after Friday.
I think we need to play Patty Cake live on air if Marvin Harrison Jr. ends up a Cardinal.
Oh, man.
That's fine.
It's going to be the Electric Factory at the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. There's going to be some weird things that are going to come on air if they actually make the pick.
The Vault, we're just trying to... Cardinal fans are tough by nature with this team. Just trying to toughen people up. We just want you to have thick skin. If they trade this pick, you know who prepped you this offseason. Your boys. Not that coward behind the mic. Bees, $5 super chat. Vikings trade up with the Chargers, swap picks with the Cardinals. At that point, Vikings can offer something no other team can, MHJ plus draft assets. Again, sounds great in theory, Bo, just a lot of moving parts there. And all this is just unprecedented for the NFL. This is the kind of, shenanigans that the NBA does, which I think their draft needs a lot of help. But yeah, I really do believe, Bees, and Bo, you can keep me honest here. It's going to be a singular team. It's going to be like, this team's going here. That's it. Cardinals go, from 4 to 6. That's it. If they pick 4, obviously that's it. I don't know if there's going to be these draft gymnastics that a lot of people hope that will happen.
I think there's still opportunity. If you get down in your money and you're just chock full of assets, and he already is, right? He controls the draft as it stands right now. But if he gets down to 11, and if there's a lick of truth as far as Tennessee or Atlanta or maybe the Jets, seeming like they can make something, and that's just one spot. But these other teams in the top 10, including the Chargers, Monti Ossenfort always says, you have to have a willing participant. You have to have a dance partner in order to make a trade. It seems like there's plenty of them in this top 10. So I don't think it's completely unrealistic, but it's not going to come in the form of what you're saying, a traditional 3-way trade. It hasn't happened in the NFL, I think, since the 80s.
Mark, $81.99. Johnny still crowd surfing with MHJ pick. # hold the line. A virtual crowd surf. Yes. 2 kinds of surfing. If they don't make the pick, you can carry me out Spider-Man style, surfing on the crowd. And if they do make the pick, obviously, place is going to go nuts. It's going to be up for grabs. We are expecting 120 plus at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass. It's going to be electric. And again, if you're not able to come, live in a different state, couldn't get tickets, Our coverage is going to be elite. It's going to be live, and it's going to go wire to wire. We are going to live stream the first 2 days of the NFL draft, and then we're doing something on day 3. We haven't put a pin in it yet. We will have live Cardinal coverage on day 3, though, regardless, especially if they're picking at pick 104, Bo, like we assume they are.
Right. I mean, they're gonna, as it stands right now, they're making a lot of selections after the first 2 days of the draft, and now it's like the previous regime. It really didn't matter who they took because they weren't going to last in the NFL for a long time. But Monty still has the ability to find some diamonds in the rough. And, as far as day 3, he found his backup quarterback as of right now, found a starting cornerback for him. He found a starting defensive lineman, project linebacker. So, it's not just lighting picks on fire. Is it still more like a lottery pick? No, I think it's a better shot than.
I mean, pick 104 should be a really good player. I mean, like, you're almost the top 100 pick. I think that's why people were down that John Gaines got hurt last year. But Saturday's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll have press conference footage Saturday because the Cardinals will have a press conference with maybe MHJ Friday. We'll have footage of that. I mean, it's just a lot of moving parts and another pick, right? Yeah. lot of moving parts this week. Excuse me. Minsky, $4.99. Hold the MF line ambassador here in Dubai. Awesome.
Nice.
Disappointed in JV how quickly he turned on Hold the Line. Couldn't see it through to the finish. Hold the Line is just like steak to JV. Wow. That I was a
you not like nice Dubai things, Johnny?
Until that super chat. Now I'm
summed up perfectly, in my opinion.
Some like nice things. You don't like nice food. You don't like nice players. You just you're a bad man.
I'll tell you what. I think he's okay if I share this. The draft week sponsor, our dear friend Coach Starks, sent me a photo. He and his wife celebrated their anniversary.
Oh, nice.
He sent me a photo of his dinner. Was unable to finish his steak and just wanted to pass along some support for your boy. So yeah, I might have bailed on Hold the Line, but I am brothers in arms with Coach Starks. With not everybody is in line to finish their steak, and that's okay. That's all right.
I mean, I appreciate just what Coach Stark was trying to accomplish with that, but I mean,
do you think he actually finished it? But like midway through, he took a picture and sent it to me, and then.
I honestly think the fact that you're sharing that, did you get his consent?
I think you'd be okay with it. He's a great guy. You're gonna see him Thursday.
You look for the first example of somebody not finishing their steak, and you threw him right under the bus with you.
It's those apps, man. Those apps kill you. I'd have to ask him what he had.
We all had apps.
They killed me in Indy. Venerable. $3.49. Watching you boys all the way from New Zealand. Hashtag international. Hold the line. Unbelievable. Right. Back-to-back super chats. One from Dubai, one from New Zealand, both holding the line across the globe.
We're an international movement. It's long been an international movement. We have a lot of brothers and sisters over in the UK that are holding the line. It's awesome.
Hey, I might not love Hold the Line. I love this community for holding the line, and I love this community, period. It's unbelievable.
You don't love Hold the Line?
I do love Hold the Line in its general sense, but because of who started Hold the Line, I have an angst against it. Like, I just can't feel good about it. When I see the hashtag,
I've been nothing but Team Johnny
I think
for how long?
And I just kind of want to do this.
I know. I don't know, Damon. I wish I could help you.
I mean,
look at Dirt Bike Boy. This is great.
There's a super chat that just came in that might make me quit the show right now. Put it on the screen. That I can't even acknowledge that, Dirt Bike Boy. How dare you? How dare you compare me to that fraud? This is a family show. We got Sophia watching. She's 10 years old, and her eyes are exposed to that. Yeah. Our audio listeners, I've been compared to the famed, the infamous Coyotes former owner. $4.99 super chat.
Current, right? Still?
I mean, sure. Whatever.
He's like the Darth Vader of Valley Sports, and that's what you just
go away. Get him out of here.
Johnny too. Overseas line
that's
holders
so hurtful.
unite. Yeah.
Picking spreads down.
What is the actual fallout of if the line isn't held? Like what is the fan base?
I'm sorry,
reaction?
I was told we can't even discuss
We
that
can't
on this show anymore.
Okay, I apologize.
Don't do it. Move. Be
so
positive.
negative.
Stop doing that.
What's the actual reaction?
I think people are going to be pissed. Like we said,
Furious.
Again, we're trying to be responsible here and prepare people for the Giants trade, the Vikings trade. I do think a big part of it will be who do they get and how far do they move down. If they move down with the Vikings and they, God forbid, have to absorb that egregious, disgusting pick 11, then people are just going to be up in arms. There could be picketing outside the Cardinals facility in Tempe. If they stick and pick at 11 and 23, regardless of who the players are, people will be furious. Absolutely furious. Do you agree with that, Damon?
I'm sorry, what was the scenario again?
If they trade down with the Vikings and stay at 11, that's doomsday, right?
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. I think there'd be like maybe a fire, a lot of maybe some police activity.
Rioting,
it'd be bad.
Loitering.
11th pick? No, I mean, who are they taking there hypothetically? Fashanu?
Yeah. You could take an offensive lineman. You could take if Latu does go in the top 10, you could take Dallas Turner, take a cornerback. Johnny would ride if they take a
cornerback pick 11 after all of this. I will walk off the set at Gila River and I will refuse to ever do a broadcast with either of you again.
They better go back into the top 10. No question.
What do you think the fallout is, Bo?
There's going to be a lot of angry people, but once they start seeing picks being made and they see the return, they'll kind of warm up to it a little bit. But this is going to cut into the Let Money Cook community out there. Like the Let Money Cook community is strong right now, and it will sustain a massive blow with this.
When you spoke with Ossenfort, even though people were peppering him with Marvin, asked questions, could you feel the sense that he knows he has a responsibility with this community and how much people want Marvin Harrison Jr.? Or do you really think, because you've said this since January, you don't think Monty doesn't care about the fans, because he didn't say that, but like taking
when I asked them about basically Marv, when I said the fan base really wants a particular prospect, what's your message to people or the fans who are falling in love with the prospect? He's like, hey, I love the fan base. I love, that they're passionate and they've got their picks, but we're going to ultimately do what's best for this organization. That's what he said. And I don't want to say he doesn't give a crap what the fan base cares for, but if he's overwhelmed with a deal, he's going to make it.
Picking spreads, Donnie, $2, posted my top 250 board. Have MHJ number 1, hold the MF in line. I think that's great. I would also say that Bo and Damon, that Marvin is the best player in this draft. Would you agree?
Yes. Donnie, I'd love if you tagged us on that. I'd love to give it a retweet. Probably a lot of hard work in that. Put in that big board. Love to send it out there and people get their eyes on it.
Cartfish. This is the most important super chat of the night. $5. Johnny, I appreciate you preparing us. Hashtag underappreciated. That gets a salute from your boy Cartfish. We appreciate you. That's somebody that can take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's a lot smaller movement. There's a lot smaller movement than the hold the line movement. It's the 3 first-round pick movement out there. I've been seeing it in the chat. The hashtag, the number 3 FR. There it is. Mikey Desert Cardinal.
That's a new one.
There. It's been around. Mikey's been repping it pretty hard.
Nice.
It's just not trending as hard as HTL.
We are going to do a 32 pick first round mock draft via the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator. Your boys are going to get assigned every team, and we're going to rotate. And I think Bo has some very astute samples of pieces of paper. We are going to decide who picks what.
Let me grab a pen real quick. Give me a second.
Okay.
This is great
While you're
live
doing that,
podcast.
let me get to this super chat. Grigson, as Bo leaves the program. 480. Grigson, $1.99. JV Bo, do you guys have a favorite sleeper pick? I don't think Xavier Leggett's a sleeper. He's just one of my favorite prospects in the draft. That's somebody that, like, if the Cardinals found a way to get Marvin and Xavier Leggett, it would make me very happy. I think that it's exactly the kind of physicality they need in their receiving core. You know, I think I like a lot of the running backs. I think the sweet spot is going to be at the end of day 3, end of day 2, early day 3. But like sleepers, I don't know. Not right now. Do you have a sleeper, Damon or Bo, that you guys like that you saw maybe at the Senior Bowl?
I think that somebody like Jalen Polk or somebody like Roman Wilson, both of those wide receivers really kind of fit with their love of kind of blocking and being involved in the run game.
Yeah.
Kind of fits the Arizona Cardinals style, that if they were kind of a day 2 option for the Arizona Cardinals, they would probably want to get them in their wide receiver room.
Grigson, I just want them to draft players from winning programs. And then if they don't work out, they don't work out. But this franchise outside last year has just been just guilty of just trying to outthink everybody in small schools, and guys didn't play big time football. Like if they drafted 3 players from Michigan this year, like people would be excited about that. You got them?
That's me.
Okay.
I haven't picked them yet. There's Damon Dog, and then there's Doesn't Finish a Steak Boy. And we got the PHNX hat. You can find it phnxlocker.com.
Nice. Shameless
They're all going into the hat.
Okay.
Shake it up and mix it up. I'm not watching. Do you want me to do who picks third or first?
I want you to go backwards.
Okay. Go backwards. All right. So picking third in every third pick in the first round, PHNX first round, it's your boy. Damn it. All right. So that means picking second. Man, that sucks. Picking second. Damon Dog.
No, so close to Marvin, guys.
Yeah.
Johnny's going to not pick Marvin because he hates him.
That means Johnny
champion. Winners
You're
win.
on the board. You're picking Caleb Williams and then Cardinals at 4.
Love it. All right. Before we get to that, last super chat for now. You can put more in while we're doing the mock. Con Gaming, $5. What do you think are the biggest smoke screens coming out before the draft? I love seeing the differences between what we hear and what happens. Benjamin Albright, I think, Con, if you haven't checked out our interview from Friday, NFL Insider, I think shed a lot of light on like Joe Alt, we assume would be a big Charger guy. He's not. Like what's happening now with Dallas Turner and Latu? Like, is there a big gap between Marvin and Malik and Rome Odunze? Like, and then of course, I think one of the most hilarious ones that doesn't affect the Cardinals is Michael Penix and Bo Nix. Are they first round picks? Like those are the ones I like following.
Yeah. I think one of the smoke screens that the Giants tried to beef up early on was that they weren't interested in a quarterback and that they wouldn't be willing to come up the draft board. And then the Patriots still kind of being bandied around as far as a team that could trade out. It seems like they're pretty well slotted at 3rd overall.
Yeah, that was good. All right, we got another super chat sliding in here. It's Minsky, $4.99. Worst thing Monty could do is trade with Minnesota, then pick reaches with 11 and 23. Absolutely. Dubai still loves JV, even if you do turn quicker than AJ Green. That's good. That's good. AJ Green, I was at that game, cost us a Packer dub. Poor AJ Green. But we appreciate you. We appreciate Dubai. And I agree. 11 and 23 is where you get in the meh territory, especially when these blue chippers, man. It's a great year to have a top 10 pick. Why would you then punt on that? I think there's general consensus with Cardinal fans.
Step in, jumping in. He's like 4 first-round picks. How needy are these teams? Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. The only team that's available that could pull it off is the Vikings.
It is time, gentlemen, for the PFF Mock Draft Simulator.
Do we need him to Zoom?
Oh, no. Dame, you're going to have to tell me how to do that again.
It's command and then the plus button, and let's get a good like 4 presses, maybe.
No, that's
maybe 3.
Then I can't see anything.
This is pretty good,
right?
That's a lot better.
Okay, bro. All right, so I selected all. We're picking all. Even though I'm controlling the mouse, we will go in order. So I will pick first, then Damon, then Bo gets pick 3, which basically means nothing. All right, let's do it. No trades, at least right now. On the clock, we're going to start draft here. And, the biggest shocker.
Come on, are we really gonna open up Caleb Williams'
Okay,
profile?
all right.
Just make the selection.
right,
Let's
Dick.
get through 1, 2, 3 quick here.
Wow, Bo's just really putting the heat on me. All right, Damon, on the clock, Washington.
He had a pretty good point. I don't know what the dilly-dallying was about there, but I'm going to take Jaden Daniels here.
Going with the former Sun Devil quarterback. Man, you got to go down the board a little bit.
Where is Jaden Daniels? This is where Trevor Sycamore.
There he is, 21st ranked prospect.
Yeah,
Jaden
they're
Daniels.
not a fan. They must have watched that bowl game he played in Tempe how many years ago. There we go. Bo Brock on the clock.
The Patriots are going to select Drake May, and it's going to end his career right away.
The Mayflower, Bo.
That's right.
That's a
The
great
Mayflower.
nickname.
It
That's
is.
so good, Damon. All right. Next up.
All right. What's Johnny going to do?
Do the right thing.
Let's check. Wow. The Giants are, they're the first team that comes to mind. Well, let's take a look here. Well. Flipping well. What about this right here? How would you guys feel about this right here?
A pick swap and a future first?
Yeah.
Bo, you're controlling the Giants, so you get to negotiate here, I feel like.
Oh man, that's not a bad point.
It's a great point by Damon. Few.
But it's tough because I have a heavy bias. Like I'm just gonna be like maybe throwing 47, 70 in their entire draft.
No, we have to make it fair.
I know. I mean, it's come like, do you want to stick and pick or do you want to seek out?
I think Ossenfort would take this trade, by the way. You get the Giants who are
not
terrible
getting anything.
for one
You're not
next
getting
year.
anything. Okay. So you're just getting a future one and your pick swap.
Yeah, and then you get Nabers at 6, and you get the Giants 1 next year, and you have
don't
2
know what
ones again
Damon's
next year.
doing at 5.
Yeah, Damon could be a wild card there. I'm going to offer this trade to you. What do you want? Do you want this trade? If you're the Giants, could you see the Giants doing this?
Yeah, I could see it with as competitive as it is.
So I'm going to force this trade. I'm not going to trade Kyler Murray. Why is that happening? There we go.
You're going to force it?
Well, yeah, because if you're making the trade, or do I need to offer it?
Just
without
offer
force. They accepted it. So we own the first round pick of the Giants next year. We've moved down 2 spots. Why is it saying trade again?
So are you taking this pick or am I taking this pick?
I think this now.
It's JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. So we'll just find JJ McCarthy.
28th ranked prospect.
All right. Damon's on the clock. Everybody's pissing me in the chat.
You put me in the worst possible position. I've never seen anything like this.
This is very realistic, folks. Welcome to the show.
I don't want to corrupt the draft.
You think we were just going to turn on the mics tonight and play patty cake? No. This is all part of the plan.
Do you understand what my predicament is here, though?
I absolutely do. This couldn't have actually fallen any better.
This is
Should we
impossible.
look at his stats? I feel like I haven't looked at his stats in a while.
What does a true hold the liner do? When Marvin Harrison Jr. is presented to you, do you just take him? Because I think that if you're a true hold the liner, no matter what team you're,
he's got to be the pick.
But I'm in my Harbaugh hat right now. I have my Harbaugh pleated khakis on, and I'm thinking we really need some offensive line help.
Oh, Damon, that's not true.
I'm really starting to feel that way.
Damon.
I don't know.
He's guzzling whole milk.
Football won in the trenches, gentlemen.
Albright told us Friday they don't love Joe Alt. So it's not Marvin versus Alt. It's Marvin versus Malik Nabers.
I'd like to trade with the Chicago Bears at number 9.
Oh my goodness.
So you're trading away the rights. You're just doing what Johnny just did.
This is hot on Twitter right now. All right, so I will force this trade. We will allow this to be forced. What do you think Harbaugh would do for this pick?
A first next year.
I'm forcing this trade because I think this is very realistic. We're in the realism business here. Let's throw in a. I think they'd have. Yeah. Yeah, I think a first probably gets it done, Damon. We're forcing this trade.
And Bo, you're the Bears. Just FYI, just put you on the clock there.
Okay. I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. Did I just make back-to-back picks?
Yeah.
Am I the greatest GM?
So I was 1-4. I get to pick this. Nabers.
You gonna trade out?
No.
Johnny, I'm pretty sure you get this pick too.
Okay. I'm going to go Joe Alt for Tennessee. Chalk it, baby.
And then I think this is me, and I'm going to go with Latu.
Latu, the trendy pick. Jumps into it. Dallas Turner. All right, let's get back on track here. Damon's much better at math than we are.
So I'm up.
Bo's up.
I think no, because you were the Bears, so I took your pick here.
Got it.
I'll go with
probably Fuaga, right?
I'll go with Odunze. They have terrible receivers, man.
I don't hate that because you know what? You got a first and you got a player that you probably really like still. Damon, I don't know. They like JC Latham, but your decision. Rome.
Yeah.
Rome. All right, so
Johnny's back on the clock, and then Damon's up next.
Jets, baby. What a terrible franchise the Jets are. Brock Bowers. Yeah, I don't know. I think, let's see. I like Fuaga here. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's worth a top 10 pick.
All right, Damon.
How are our friends in Minnesota doing after all this, I wonder?
Times are tough.
I mean, yeah, this isn't a good spot to be in if you're the Vikings here. Scroll down a little bit.
A lot of QBs here for them to pick. Things are going well for them.
Scroll back up. What does it say they need there?
Well, they say they needed tight end. Hawkinson's leg
crazy
exploded, but I mean, I think it's a corner here.
Yeah.
I mean, is it Quinyon Mitchell? I've seen Quinyon mocked them a lot, Damon.
Yeah, we can go with Quinyon.
All right, so I'm on the clock. I'm the Denver Broncos. Yes. Another team that their fan base is going to be upset they didn't get up and get a quarterback. But I'm going to go with Terrion Arnold.
Yeah, they like their corners, don't they? Can't wait for Terrion never to play under Vance Joseph. Raiders here. I think this is a Brock Bowers pick here. Their tight end room's sus ever since Darren Waller left. I think they need some more sex appeal, some more cachet on offense.
Brock Bowers screams sex appeal. Have you ever seen him?
He does. He absolutely does.
Is this me here?
New Orleans.
We're going to go JC Latham here.
I like that pick.
Is this too early for Brian Thomas Jr. for the Colts?
No, I don't think so at all.
They've got a wide receiver one in Pittman Jr. But Anthony Richardson, they want to set him up for success.
Didn't they have a rookie last year who was pretty solid?
Yeah. I mean, there's talk of them coming up in the top 10 for somebody.
What's their offensive line like? So they need it says wide receiver, defensive back. Are they Cooper DeJean? Cooper DeJean stay in the Midwest, or
let's not be fooled by PFF's. Let's just call it questionable big board at times.
Dallas Turner on the board here.
Yeah, his slide. Let's end his slide here. Take him 15th
Yeah.
overall.
All right. Seattle, who I loathe, on the clock here with some options. This makes sense. Keep it home in Washington. I know they took a couple tackles a few years back, but I'm just going chalk here with Troy out of Washington. I don't really love the quarterback market for them. I think with a defensive head coach, they're going to try to prop up that offense just a little bit more. So I think you get an interchangeable offensive lineman for Seattle. Pick 16.
All right.
So what do the
Damon's-
Jags need here?
What they're saying,
I would say defense.
yeah. Well, I mean, you could look O-line too.
Yeah.
I mean, they just lost Ridley too. Does Mitchell or Thomas Jr. play in there? Couple him with Christian
Ryan
Kirk?
Thomas Jr. be interesting for sure.
Who else do they have at receiver? Gabe Davis?
Yeah, they gave
Oh,
him
they-
a dumb contract. They're just not very smart. Bulky's kind of dumb. Bulky's taking a lot of first round tackles and receivers. So that would be par for the course.
I'll go with. I'm not going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. quite yet. I mean, are they set at tackle? Because I kind of want to go Fashanu here, but
Yeah. No, they've got, I don't know if they got how good their tackle play is, honestly. Chat, keep us honest here. Not on the Jags beat as much as I'd like.
You're not a Jags sicko. You don't know their depth chart.
How about this
defensive
right here,
boards?
Damon? That might make some sense.
I mean, put him opposite Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Keep him in Florida.
Although they took that bust Trayvon Walker, they're probably still trying to justify that. So where you go, Coop?
I'll go with Fashanu.
Okay.
Screw it.
It's about where we expect him to go.
That's a tough beat for the Bengals because I think they would have taken Fashanu.
Look at that.
agree.
Let's just count real fast. We had 4 quarterbacks, haven't had one yet. 3 receivers, but look how many tackles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tackles in the top 17 picks. Good Lord.
All right, so now Bengals are on the clock, and I think they'll go trenches. Byron Murphy II or Johnny Newton here.
Yeah. Their fan base really wants Jerzon Newton for what it's worth.
All right, let's do it. Let's make them happy.
All right.
It's tough because that's a target down at 27, but that's a long way to go.
Yeah. Peter Schrager seems pretty convinced the Rams are going to go offense, so I'll keep the tackle train moving here.
The interior of their offensive line is set.
Yeah, they're loaded there.
They just signed a guard. They kept Doxson. So
I could
they
see
could
them.
go.
I could see them really liking Barton, but yeah, I'll go Mims here. I don't know. He's a little raw. What about they've got Puka, they've got Cooper Kupp.
Could they go defense?
Yeah, I mean, is it too easy just to say Byron Murphy?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron
Donald?
Donald retires. I kind of like that. I hate it for the Cardinals, but I like that for them.
Let's do that. Back to a run on D tackles here.
I'm going to go Mims here for the Steelers.
I like it.
Pick I've seen in a lot of drafts.
With Russ.
Bogut's Damon's precious Dolphins here.
The Dolphins. Yeah, let's go with Barton or JPJ here, Damon. You can help me out with this one.
I would take JPJ or Cooper, probably.
Let's go with the offensive lineman. Let's go Jackson Powers Johnson.
This O-line class, man, it's something special. Philadelphia's on the clock. This is
Georgia guy.
Yeah, well, I honestly think like Cooper DeJean, Philadelphia. I could see them loving Cooper DeJean. So
he feels like an Eagle or like maybe a Packer.
Yeah, I've said that since day one, Damon. 100%.
Jared Verse in the 20s. So the Vikings on the clock for their second first-round pick.
Who did we take?
Still don't
with
have
the
a quarterback. You want Bo Nix here? He's available. He's going to be available next round too.
I think I got the Vikings for both picks, I think.
That's nice.
Come on, Kwesi.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. This is just gonna be the harsh reality for Vikings fans watching this. This is what happens if you don't pay up.
Seriously, well, that's why we've been talking about this for 2 months. People think we just make shit up.
They're gonna come out of here with Quinyon Mitchell and Jared Verse.
I mean, I like both those players.
They invested a lot on the edge, though. I feel like this, like a lot of money.
They got Grenard and they got Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, they kind of lost their horses. So I don't think that they would be done adding at the position because you need more than 2 pass rushers.
They don't have a second-round pick. They don't have a quarterback. Who's playing quarterback for them? Darnold? Like, they have to get a quarterback. They have no second-round pick.
I mean, you think that Bo Nix is like ready to light up the NFL as a rookie?
I think that they're going to be, if they're not trading up for McCarthy, it's going to be Nix. Yeah. But you pick who you want. But
all right, let's take Michael Penix then. Let's take Michael Penix.
Holy hell.
But like, we'll just talk it through. They don't have a second. This is what they're going to have to do. Their fan base is so ignorant too. They're like, we're good. You're not good. You're the opposite of good.
So I'm up, and the Cowboys are on the clock. They just got rid of Gallup. They've got CD, who was fantastic last year, that they're gonna give the bag.
Feels like they have a lot of needs.
They do. Yeah, look at that. I mean, interior defensive line.
I mean, this is pretty shocking right here.
Yeah, it is wild. Brian Thomas Jr., is he too good to pass up at that point?
I think it's like a CD situation with them. I think they would take him.
All right. It pains me to do that, but BTJ,
they draft pretty well.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think maybe a Barton play there, but I'll go with Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas probably goes to one of these 3 teams. So
yeah.
All right. Packers on the clock. O-line, Graham Barton. We'll go chalk here. Duke player.
He just feels like a Packer, doesn't he?
He does.
I mean, destroyed Pitt. I mean, he's...
Why did you say that? Why is that a thing?
That was such a random call out.
I mean, what he did to the Panthers in Pitt, is unspeakable.
God damn,
what a game! I'll remember where I was when he was putting on that performance.
How could you forget?
For those hoping, just real quick, after this pick goes in, I mean, like, you got a couple guys left, and then it's like, see you next year. I mean, that's what happens with this O-line group.
Yeah.
Get
ready to speak project good interior guys. Lineman. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Barton goes with my pick to the Packers. Damon is on the clock with the Bucks.
All right. What do we need here? A million things? Let's take Jared Verse. Let's keep him in Florida.
Todd Bowles, baby.
That's tough. That's tough.
You know what to do.
That was you almost had Jared Verse fall all the way into Monty's lap at 27. That would have been huge. All right.
We had traded. Should the Cardinals have traded up from 27? Did we miss an opportunity there?
I think for either Barton or Verse or one of the tackles would have been good, but I think they're in a pretty good spot. So let's take a look. So I don't think they like Wiggins at 170 pounds at the
Peyton Wilson.
Yeah, Peyton Wilson, off-ball linebacker.
Really special player.
Don't even open up his body.
What school is this? You got a 91 against
Virginia Military. It's Virginia Military. That's VMI.
I was going to say something disrespectful, but I won't now. That looks like the creative school you did in like NCAA football back in the day. I created a university.
Yeah. Man, Zach Frazier might be the play here. The times are tough.
What about a trade down? Let's say the Chiefs wanted to come up for a Donnie Mitchell. I think that's a realistic scenario. Hang on. So you're picking, then I'm picking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So like Damon, you're in charge of the Chiefs. So you're gonna have to do this deal.
There's no trade. I mean,
you just say they could come up and get Donnie Mitchell.
I mean, keep scrolling. I feel like PFF has a different board than like a lot of people sometimes, where like there might be some pretty decent players on the board still that we just didn't see yet.
I like Morgan.
Oh, here you go. Right here.
Here's your boy.
It might be the play.
A lot of these players are fine. Fisk, I mean, you're fine. But I think again, you trade down and get one of these guys.
Yeah. I like Chop or Jordan Morgan here. Let's see what the chat's saying.
I think it's Chop. I love PFF. I think Chop Robinson's a first round pick, guys. I mean, 90 grade.
You're making me not want to do it. just how gung-ho you are.
Iowa has really good offensive line play. He beat the shit out of the Hawkeyes. Look at that. 95?
I mean, it's not Graham Barton versus Pitt performance, but it's up there.
I don't want to influence you. You pick who you want. I already gutted this fan base by what I did earlier. So
Chop is the favorite here in the chat. Eric B said, and get to the Choppa. You got people saying Kool-Aid or Nate Wiggins. Donnie picking spreads like Wiggins. But yeah, let's go Chop Robinson.
Chop it up, baby.
Here's why
10 players.
Here's why I would take Chop over Darius Robinson out of Mizzou is just because he's a true edge. He's a true off-ball linebacker. So, I mean, not off-ball linebacker, outside linebacker.
Edge rusher. Yeah. Nice work. All right, but Bills are on the clock. They steal Adonai Mitchell. They have no wide receivers. Mitchell, 6'4", 196 from Texas. That's easy peasy.
Put him on my fantasy team. Year one.
Bombs away. Josh Allen, baby.
Who's up?
Right. We're going for the Lions here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take Kool-Aid.
They like Bama players. Jameson. They've taken some Bama players under Jameson Williams, and then they took the back last year.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Both from Alabama. So this is their third first-round pick from Bama during this era.
All right, so Ravens are on the clock. They did well by getting a wide receiver finally last year. Could they go offensive line? Could they go edge? They've got a center of the future, though. I mean, he's already locked in. Let's go. Let's get wiggy with it. Let's go Nate Wiggins here. That was my last pick.
Yeah. Hate the Niners. They are desperate for interior help. I think Zach Frazier's an easy pick here. Put a bow on it, Damon Dog.
Let's just make Ladd a Chief.
That'd be wild.
That feels right, doesn't it?
Ladd and Hollywood Brown. They have upgraded their wide receiver room pretty decently. We got an award. Congrats, dude.
I got an award. All right, first round mock draft. I am going to. How do I zoom out? There we go. Here it is. Can everybody see it? Zoom out one more time.
Yep.
There it is. The whole shebang. Cardinals exit the first round with Malik Nabers. I said 2 Big Ten players later. I didn't even know. I forgot I passed on Marvin. Malik Nabers, Chop Robinson, and a first-round pick next year. How would you guys feel? Pulse of the fan base Thursday night if that happens. What do you think goes down?
Man. I mean, just getting Marvin makes the pick like Chop Robinson at 27. It's kind of a project pass rusher because he wasn't productive at Penn State.
Yeah.
He just wasn't. I mean, you like him joining forces with Nick Rollis and Jonathan Gannon, but it's not as it doesn't blow you away. Like Malik Nabers, you can spin it, you can get behind it. He's going to be making plays for him for the future, but it's not Marvin Harrison Jr. and Chop and like the delayed gratification of the future first round pick. Like you're not going to feel that until next draft season, but it's good. I'm just saying you're not going to blow people away with it.
Yeah, nobody fell, Damon, to 27 that we felt like, oh, that's a steal, right? Like
I mean, you were one pick away. You were 1 pick away from Jared Verse, 2 picks away from Graham Barton. You know, I think that those guys you get excited about. But like this what this mock draft really truly shows is the testament as far as the Vikings and what their urgency should be to get a quarterback.
It's a joke that if they don't have urgency. It's a joke. You're a joke if you don't come up. People wonder why we spent 2 months talking about this. Like, There it is, live, 4 days before the draft. Good stuff, gentlemen. It was fun.
What are the Broncos going to do at quarterback if that's what they're going to do in the draft? Bo Nix in the second?
Yeah.
Somebody goes, Monty's fired in 2025. No. Like, I just want to ask everybody, what's the best case scenario for the Giants with J.J. McCarthy next year? 7 wins? Like, that pick would be pretty good next year. But I'm with Bo. Like, people be upset about it because you're not getting anything extra this year. But they want to just stack first rounders every year. As Albright said on Friday, teams want to just rolled over every single year. You want to roll it over.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to some of these super chats here. Everybody's saying, thank God JV's not making the pick. Like legit, come on, guys. You get Malik Nabers in a 1 next year. That just shows me like people just don't. It's either Marv or bust. We've reached the point. It's Marv or bust here, Bo.
Yeah, B Moore is 7-11. Everyone remember how sad Bo got when Albright said he thinks we're going to take Marv. Laughing emoji. HTMFL. Hold the MF in line. I did not get sad. I think I smiled. I think my face filled up with glee.
How about this?
I think my heart grew 3 sizes.
Okay, Grinch. Gatorade man, $1.99. I'd rather do the Vikings trade than draft Nabers. Wow. Why? Can I ask why? Gatorade man, put a follow-up in there. You want, like, do you guys look what was available for the Vikings? Scraps. It was bad. Stay in the top 10. I didn't trade out of the top. I traded back 2 picks. Got a first rounder from a team that's routinely awful. I mean, like, if the Giants are picking top 10 next year, that shouldn't shock anybody. Their division is loaded. Who are they beating? They're not beating anybody. Part of the reason I don't want to deal with the Vikings, they're always competitive. I'm playing the long game. Diego Perez, Bo, $2. 4 days till I get a bathroom selfie with Johnny. You got it. You got it.
Unbelievable. That's a great super chat right there for $2. Unbelievable. What else we got for super chats?
The vault's back. $1.99. Love you, Johnny, Bo, and Damon. Hashtag hold the line. Hashtag patty cake time. Hashtag PCT. A lot of hashtags being born from this show over the last 72 hours. This is an aggressive chat in the best possible way. That's what Sunday night does. People are a little bit off their rocker, and I love it.
You get a little looser, right? At the end of the weekend, going into the work week, you got the Sunday scaries, and people get a wild out there.
Rudy, hashtag blame Johnny. Rudy, I loved your mocks on Friday. Now I'm going to take it back right now. I hated them.
Just a trio of nasty boys on a Sunday night.
That's right.
We're real gross this week. It's going to get real gross. We ordered some clothing that we're going to sport on Thursday, and it's going to blow you away. That's all I can say. A little tease of what your boys are going to be wearing, repping on Thursday.
Johnny's eyes low, look like he's baked as shit. It's just because he's on the grind. He's never
allergy season, my guy. I wish I was on those OGs, but yeah, temperature change. I like this one right here. Where'd it go? Jacob, Nabers got bullied by Florida State. I did not see that. That's interesting. That probably
week 1 of the college football season, or was that week 0?
Yeah, Nicardo Green, he bullied Nabers. Good for him. Hey, listen, I don't think Nabers is a better player than Marvin, but like, what happens if you get Nabers in the top 10 pick next year? Nobody wants to hear anything other than they're taking Marvin at 4. I get it. There's no way if I got picked 4 tonight, though, I was going to do that. Sorry.
That's why you're a dirty dog. That's
I
why
am.
Would
you have taken Marvin 4?
No comment.
No, he wouldn't have. See, this is the thing. You guys play both sides of the fence. You say you want Marvin at 4, and then Johnny says things like, "There's no way
I was going to pick Marvin. I was going to take him or not.
I'm here for chaos on a Sunday night.
Commentary.
I want to do chaos.
You guys hate Marv.
Big
And
Poppy
it's
saying
okay.
that return was garbage. They got a first-round pick. They moved down 2 spots. Garbage? I've seen this team with garbage picks and garbage players. That was not garbage. Come on. Come on.
Jack, I said no comment. You have no idea which way I was going to go. He called me a traitor.
Trader Joe's, Trader Bo's. JV and Bo want to trade down. I can tell. We don't.
No.
Come on.
But you did. You did. Your actions tell us differently.
I just want to have some fun on the PFF mock draft simulator. So what if I did?
You know what also is fun on the PFF mock draft simulator? Taking Marv.
Wow. So how many more mocks are we going to do before Thursday? 7? 10?
Yeah, man. We're probably going to do one tomorrow, right? Because then we load up. We've got Baldy. We've got Trevor Sikkema, Omar Ruiz, NFL Network, I think, is going to join us this week. So we are loaded.
People love this show and want to come on, and then people send in super chats calling us frauds, and that's the beauty of this show. That's why this show is the greatest. Picking spreads, Donnie, $2 super chat. Theory, Johnny and Bo are trying to jinx us to land MHJ.
We got 4.5 days to go to see if that theory can be proven right.
I think it's more like we're trying to, make sure everybody is prepared for all scenarios. This is because you know what? If it was done, it would be done, but it's not done. There's work to be done.
Whose last mock draft are you looking forward to? It's going to be
Schrager's mock.
Schrags?
Mm-hmm. If Schrader's mock has them trading down again, get the white flag out. Hold the line will officially die if Schrager has them trading down. What do you think about that, Damon?
No, that we won't. You can't take us down that easily. You can't take us down until I've seen that the Cardinals traded that pick away.
So he's lying on the battlefield, lifeless. Gregson 480.
Yeah, was it the Black Knight from Monty Python? He gets like all his limbs cut off. This is merely a flesh wound. He's just
like, bro, you traded down already. It's over. Yeah. Quit. Gregson 480, Bo. $1.99. Bold draft prediction. We'll all do one. You got a bold draft prediction. Yeah, let's do one right now. Bold draft prediction.
Really outside of the norm, like outside of the teams that have been kind of speculated would trade down?
I'll give a prediction. I think if another team does it, I think the Rams could take Bo Nix or Michael Penix. That's a bold prediction.
In the first round?
Yeah. Rams have not had a first round pick in like half a decade. Stafford's basically year to year. What if the Rams stole one of those QBs from another team?
I'm with Brett here. Brett Jones saying Chargers trade down. I know that's not like the crazy take because that very well could be what happens, but I think that they're the most motivated to trade down.
I think I'm not going to count Ladd McConkey in this group because I think there's a very real chance he does go in the first round, but the other Senior Bowl wide receivers like Roman Wilson, Ricky Pearsall, or Xavier Legette, I think one of those guys goes in the first round.
Wow.
Gatorade man, $1.99. He's back. Odunze greater than Nabers. Nabers is not an X wide receiver. Hold the line. I'm trying to get a pulse of Nabers, Odunze, Nabers. I go back and forth. I flip flop. Gatorade man.
Yeah. I think prospect wise, I think Nabers is a better wide receiver prospect than Odunze.
Chargers take O-line even if MHJ is on the board. Wow, Ozzy.
That'd be wild.
That would be unbelievable. It'd be the biggest shock of the last half decade. Jalen Blair's going, quarterbacks don't go 1, 2, 3. That's bold. It would mean Marv's a Cardinal.
Line will have been held. Ben Volin of who covers the Patriots, he's pretty convinced it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then the Cardinals take Marvin Harrison Jr. 4th.
Would it shock either of you or anybody in the chat if the Patriots traded down? They got talked into it last minute. They go to Kraft and say, you know what, guys, we don't love Drake. We like him. What was the package you floated before the show to me?
Yeah,
today?
So it was saw this. There was a projected package of the Vikings giving 23 a future first, and I think a 2026 second rounder. They're going to say no.
Might as well just give him a first at that point if you really want to do that. Man, I'm with a Reese. No way. Like Kraft, he has been subjected to Mac Jones.
Reasonable Vikings fan in the chat. He's reasonable from his
What does
name.
he say?
He's saying Vikings trade the farm for Drake May. Because that's who you have to get. You have to get to the Patriots to do that.
But what if the Patriots are like, we're taking Drake May? See ya.
Right.
Robert Kraft. You'll have to look at Robert Kraft, Vikings fan. If you're Elliot Wolf and say, there's a team that is smart. The Vikings are smart. Kevin O'Connell's smart. Good offensive coach. Why do they get to take Drake May and I'm Robert Kraft and I have shit for QBs and I don't get to take Drake May? That's the rationale you have to give to Robert Kraft. And you know what the answer is going to be? You know who's going to make that decision? The owner. The owner who feels immense pressure now after forcing Bill Belichick out the door to not be a shitstorm and to get a quarterback this year. That's why it's going to be Drake May. Because if the Vikings, who have their act together, are like, we need all this ammunition to go up and get Drake May, the Patriots are like, we'll just take him. We're good. Rebuild the team other places. They're naive enough to think they can hit on picks later. Maybe they can, but that's why there's no way they trade down.
It'd be wild. And then they're going to ride with Brissett.
So about Halloween or something.
Are they going to they'll take Bo Nix, who's Mac Jones 2.0. Slightly more athletic Mac Jones.
Oh, you mean if they traded down?
Yeah.
I think
no, not in the first round.
If the Patriots trade down, you might as well just not take a quarterback.
If you have Jacoby Brissett and Bo Nix, that's your quarterback room.
Bo Nix's arm in Foxborough would fall off. I think we can agree on that. If it was struggling in Alabama,
he played in Eugene. Eugene wasn't exactly.
It's not. I lived in Eugene for 3 years. It never dropped below 40, 45.
Okay.
Like during normal times of the day. Who we got? Sumix $4.99. I've heard of all of the field issues potentially with Nabers. Odunze seems like a better fit with what they're building. I think Nabers is a little bit more about, the mantra of like being a number one wide receiver, and he fits some of those traditional stereotypes that like I don't love to highlight because I think he's still going to be a kick-ass NFL player. But you're right, Sumix. Like Odunze is much more laid back, I think, and that's kind of what they're looking for. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you take the lesser player because of it, Bo. Sure. Like we talked about last year, they didn't take what's his name from Georgia because they didn't have the locker room to support it. You should have a locker room now that could support Nabers. And Nabers isn't on the level as what's his name. I can't even remember who. The D tackle that the Eagles took.
Yeah, Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter.
It's not Jalen Carter. But like if you're trusting in Ossenfort, Gannon, Monti, Kyler Murray, everybody, like you ought to be able to support Malik Nabers, even if he's got a colorful personality.
Minsky, $4.99 super chat. May falls to 4. We trade with the Giants. LA takes Alt. We take MHJ. Statue for Monty. Commissioned. Job done. Monty, Matt Prater, and Damon Dog at that point.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, Minsky and everybody in the chat, if you're hoping that Marvin is the pick, if JJ McCarthy comes on the screen between 1 through 3, basically 2 or 3, it's dead. It's over. Do you agree with that?
Say it again.
If JJ McCarthy's either the 2nd or 3rd overall pick, the Marv dream is dead.
Yeah. Yep.
Drake May available for the Cardinals to trade. It's over.
Yeah. If Jaden Daniels gets past the Commanders, I think the Raiders do everything within their power to get up.
I agree with that, Bo. But with Drake May, I mean, I could see a Will Levis type scenario where everybody expects him to go early and then somehow he just keeps slipping. Like if the league is just low on a guy. That wouldn't shock me.
I don't know if he could slip that far. Like, are you, like Levis or like Aaron Rodgers, like still a first rounder? I don't know.
People are turned off by Jaden.
No,
maybe not out of the first round. Just me thinking that it's possible that one of these guys the league is a lot lower on than maybe we think. Just like last year.
Yeah, well, there was some Mark Anderson. I don't think that JJ is going 2nd or 3rd. But look, the Patriots, they've done their due diligence. They've wined and dined JJ McCarthy. I think Washington's done all their homework on the quarterbacks, and it does feel like Daniels is pretty much a lock to go 2nd overall.
I agree with K1 since day one. Giants would come up for Drake May. You go that the 4 to 6 trade, and shit, you probably get a first plus. You probably get more.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're the Vikings, you can't even be excited about Drake May falling. You would have no shot to get him. Like that's like we could probably go through 20 scenarios with the Vikings. Here's the scenario with the Vikings. They can trade to pick 4 or 5 for JJ McCarthy. They're gonna have to give up a lot to do it. Like, do you think there's a better chance now that McCarthy's a Giant than a Viking by the time we reach Thursday?
Yeah, because of what kind of New York has shown as far as interest in McCarthy, where I think that the Vikings' interest probably is mostly in May, and then they like McCarthy, but as far as the asking price to get up the board, it's too great for them really willing to do it. But at this point, you've really kind of put yourself in a tough position. Like you're pot committed, it really feels like, with having to get up the board to get a quarterback.
Geo Casey, $1.99, roughly 3 days. Now we've reduced it from 5 to 4 to 3 days till MHJ. We up, baby. We up.
Look, if a trade happens with a different team, an inexplicable deal with like the Chargers at 5, I think you could start to celebrate. Like the whole line crew can.
Well, that would like pre-draft.
Yeah,
but that would never happen.
Right. That's why I said inexplicable.
Okay. Owen, I like this comment. Commanders are definitely capable of doing something absurd. Yeah, they're not particularly
well run. For that
to
be a failure. Yeah. Remember that guy turned down even interviewing with the Cardinals, Peters? It's like, okay, well, I hope your career just crashes and burns.
And now you're like, people are saying like Cliff is helping them pick the QB. It's like, what, guys? Come on. Cliff? We like Cliff on this show, but like Jaden Daniels is going to be a commander over Drake May because of Cliff Kingsbury, your OC. Come on. Be a serious franchise. Like we blow the Vikings a lot of shit. Like they're a serious franchise. That's why I think like their moves are very desperate this offseason. Like the Commanders are not a serious franchise. That's what pains me when I see like Commanders are going to bounce back this year and win 9 games. With what players? The defensive line.
They signed 50-year-old Austin Eckler, who if he had a run of 40 today, it would be close to 5.
They're an easy team to hit. Like these teams in the top 5, maybe Cardinals and Bears, I believe, notwithstanding, and Chargers. Like the Commanders and the Giants are going to be bad, and the Patriots. Like those 3 teams.
Yeah.
Like if you could, that's why if you swindle the Giants, man, I know they're they're 6 overall. Like this video,
Tennessee.
Subscribe to
I'm not sold on Tennessee.
Yeah,
I think they've got. I haven't liked what Carthon's done so far.
He's kind of low key bad, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta's going to work because they have the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL. Cardinals' strength of schedule, by the way, not terrible. About 8th. Middle of the pack. Yeah,
8th easiest. Where it was a gauntlet last year.
It's like Cardinals, you have a top 3 pick because you were bad.
They play all the top 5 teams. They play every single team in the top 5. I mean, obviously, it's based on a 4th base schedule. So
9 wins, baby. Get your playoff tickets now. We do a revised win-loss total if they take Marv live on air Thursday. Yes, we will. Okay. Yes, we will.
I'm not above it. I'm not going to say it's too early.
We're not above a lot of things this week.
If they take Marv Thursday, I mean, it's first off, we're going to say some things that it's just going to be out of pure excitement and joy.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a take factory. We're just going to be firing off takes like the Cardinals are taking over the world.
Yeah. There's part of me is like, you can't hold us accountable for anything Thursday that we say. Like this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. A good old 90-minute Sunday Cards After Dark with 400 plus of our favorite people. Super chats have been phenomenal, the support. And again, guys, if you're new to the program, welcome. This is your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. We are live every day this week, Sunday through Saturday. And it's all kicking off on Thursday with our on-site coverage, Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. 100 plus people in attendance as myself, Bo Brock, Damon Dog, and the returning Britton Golden break down every pick of the first round, including picks 4 and 27 for the Arizona Cardinals, plus day 2 and day 3 coverage around the clock. No better place if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan to consume, watch, and have a good time with draft coverage for our sweet baby Redbirds.
That's right. Bucky Bird, if we draft Marvelous Marv, I'm running naked through my neighborhood. I don't think
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you're not. So thank you, everybody who tuned in. It's going to be a huge week, as Johnny just outlined. Huge guest, big time news, speculation. We're going to get into it all. And then, of course, it's going to happen Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday night. Cardinals are going to get a lot better over those next couple days. Cannot wait for it. Like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports. Follow Johnny, Damon, myself on Twitter and Instagram. We'll talk to everybody soon. Have a great rest of your weekend.
We all silly like the mayor.